Brandis, more and more residents are turning to local public safety apps to report neighborhood crime. Public safety apps like Citizen and Nextdoor are allowing users to report incidents and crime in the area. But some skeptics say these apps have fueled fear. And joining us to discuss the impact of the apps and more is Arthur Lariggio, professor of criminal justice and psychology at Loyola University, Chicago. Professor Lariggio, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on your show.
All right, first of all, tell us about these apps, namely Citizen and Nextdoor. I think those are the big ones we're talking about here.
Yeah, this allows for immediate and widespread sharing of information about crimes that have been committed and crimes in progress. And that information is gathered from a variety of sources. Often police scans are used to give the information to the network, and people then can share the information with one another, comment on the information, and respond to it in ways that are unprecedented. The manner of sharing information in a community to let people know about dangers and threats is as old as America. We called it the hue and cry. And someone would run around the community and actually yell to warn people or to alert people door to door about an offender that was on the loose, or about other threats to public.
This is an update to that. Obviously, putting this in app form, and a lot of this information, as you mentioned, comes from scanners or it's crowdsourced. So, is there any data proving that neighborhoods where people utilize these apps are safer?
No, not that I know of. There's been no controlled studies, as there were 30 years ago of Neighborhood Watch, which is of a similar ilk, except Neighborhood Watch had another component to it, and that is face-to-face meetings with members of the community in which they were able to devise some strategies to make the streets safer. Simply sharing information about crime is not actionable information, especially for private citizens. Private citizens are not authorized, trained, or empowered to do something about crime in the community other than reporting to police.
Yeah, and in fact, Citizen, the one app, Citizen got a little bit of controversy because it seemed like it was bordering on vigilantism for a while, offering rewards for alleged suspects that turned out not to be suspects. Are you worried that it could kind of cross the boundary into some sort of citizen vigilantism?
Well, a bombardment with information about crime, and we get it every day in the news. Crime stories usually lead the news in Chicago, but if you're seeking information about crimes from other sources, that's going to fuel fear of crime. It's going to increase anxiety, but it can also increase anger. It can also propel people to think about different ways to go after perpetrators. And the information that they receive is simply too raw to act on, even if they had the authority to do so. No, police are not precipitous in taking action based on initial information unless they observe a crime in progress. So the information that goes through the scanner is raw. It has not been vetted. It has not been evaluated. It hasn't reached a level for police to take action, which in most instances and defined legally is known as probable cause. But citizens have no authority to act on that.
And as you mentioned, a lot of this information can be unvetted. Is there a worry that it could lead to too much fear among residents? Every little noise they hear is reported as a crime.
That's a considerable concern, Paris. Fear of crime causes people to isolate, makes it less likely that they will become the eyes and ears of the community because they're indoors. you can be made anxious just from hearing a crime. Just about the information you hear can cause you to be afraid. Being afraid limits your activity. Being afraid limits your interaction with others in the neighborhood, which also leads to less of a likelihood that in the community there'll be a sense of collective efficacy, that we're doing something to make the streets safer. Instead, fear isolates people and has them do less to make the streets safer. In fact, Neighborhood Watch made people anxious. It did not make crime go down. It made people afraid.
So a little bit of anxiety is usually productive, and then beyond that, it's unproductive. You've studied a similar local watch app called Crime Stoppers. Just briefly, we only have 30 seconds left. Tell us what that is and what you discovered about it.
Crime Stoppers involved the media, the police, and benefactors who got together to reenact crimes in programs like America's Most Wanted. We found that Crime Stoppers did lead to solving crimes that were cold, so-called cold cases, but we didn't have evidence that those crimes would not have been solved otherwise, had there not been a Crime Stoppers reenactment.
A lot of interesting areas of research here. All right, our thanks to Professor Arthur Larigio. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.